Dark is the night and the moon shining bright. This cat from the slum had a mind that wasn't dumb. Can't be like the rest is the most to confess, but his time has run out and there is no happiness. All Whitehead fly. He wanted to make perfection by and by. Now that he lost, don't ask no questions why. Only game he knew was do or die. Ah, ha, ha. Taking all that he can take, gambling with the odds of fate, trying to get over. That's what he's trying to do, y'all. Hey, people. Hi, Sandra Mitchell. How you doing? Kimberly White. Mm-hmm. Dark is the night and the moon shining bright. Hi, Lincoln Jude and Wild Seed. Mocha Drop. Marissa Chateau. How y'all doing? Well, we talked about how shortcakes. Man, so many of y'all. We talked about this a couple months ago, right? And we all predicted the same thing was going to happen, right? This man was going to jail. This man was going to jail because he was what you call a dumb criminal. He's a stupid criminal. Listen, people, listen to what I'm saying. If you are an upstanding citizen, maybe you're an asshole or you're just a braggadocious person and you like to wear flashy clothes and drive fancy cars, but you earn the money. So you can do that if you want to. Maybe you got a laundromat or you own a real estate company or however you make your money. As long as you make your money legitimately, you can brag all you want. You can have all diamonds on your teeth if you want to, right? You can do whatever you want to because of your money. But when you are dirty, baby, when you are dirty, you don't draw attention to yourself. You just don't do it. I'm sorry. This is a dumb criminal. He knew he was dirty. We all know he was dirty and you was on your way. So so much for, I guess that kind of ends the Larry Reed $20 million a lawsuit for defamation of his character. You ain't got no damn character, nigga. I guess you got to drop it against all these people you suing because they said you was a thief and a crook. All right, so LAMAR Whitehead, I hope they stop calling him Bishop now, has finally been arrested. Now, we know we became aware of this story on the internet, at least on YouTube and Facebook, because he got mad at Larry Reed and they had a kerfuffle. And Larry Reed said that that man's days on the streets were numbered. He said that the man was already being investigated by the FBI, correct? He said he had inside information and he knows for sure this man was being investigated. Well, guess what? The FBI don't come a week later. You have been under investigation since the time that man accused you of being under investigation because the charges they are putting against you now, which are fraud, extortion, and lying to the FBI, are the same charges that he laid out in the first video, right? So he wasn't lying on you, and he did not defame your character because he simply told the truth. So LAMAR Whitehead, it looks like one of the primary cases is this case against the lady that he stole $90,000 from. She wouldn't let it go. That's how you gonna let go of your life savings. I don't know why that fool thought he could take that woman's money and go out and buying Rolls Royces and Bentleys and shit and buying houses for himself. And she would just say, okay, that's no big deal. It's a very extremely big deal. And I got bad news for you, LAMAR Whitehead. This is just the charges they're putting against you now. They're not finished, right? So he's been charged with fraud, extortion, lying to the FBI. We know that he has committed fraud by these cases that we've been presented with, right? Over the last few months, he seemed to bask in the celebrity. I think it lasted 2 months or something like that. Then when it started to wane, when people were not following the story anymore, he starts to sue everybody in order to get himself. He liked the taste of all that celebrity, right? Because he closed down his storefront church, which he said apparently he thought we're supposed to believe was bringing in millions. 11 to 30 people on Sunday, 11 to 20, 30 poor people were supposed to be supporting this lifestyle of his, right? But the point is, the boy is stupid. I'm sorry if that hurts y'all feelings. Oh, you speaking against the black man. Don't start that shit with me. The boy is stupid. I remember when I was in the game and I was in the drug game. I was in the drug game because I was a drug addict, right? But one of the first things my connection would tell me, and all I did was buy a damn bicycle, a mountain bike, right? And the man saw me on the street and pulled me over for riding a fucking mountain bike. What are you doing with that bicycle? Man, you gonna get us all busted. I said, what? I'm just a damn bike. What are you doing? People ride bikes in San Francisco, right? Apparently, the man out of his own experience knows that if you pulled up on a new bicycle, not talking about cars here, we're talking about a simple bicycle, and you pull up in a $2,000 bicycle, and the people who you are talking to are barely past homelessness, you're a drug dealer, right? You're a drug dealer. They're going to bust your ass. They're going to come at you so hard that you might give me up. So you take that bicycle and either throw it in the trash or donate it to one of these homeless people or do whatever the hell you're going to do with it. But you ain't fucking with me as long as you own that thing. Anyway, the point there being, this man is not riding around on bicycles. This man is riding around in $250,000 cars. No visible means of income, riding around in $250,000 cars, and he doesn't have just one, right? So it was predictable that you have drawn so much attention to yourself, whitehead, dumbass, that of course they're going to take a look at that, man. You're bringing on more heat to yourself. So what I'm saying to you is all of your other victims, because you didn't even have this lifestyle on just that woman's $90,000, right? There are other victims. They were starting to come out of the closet a few months ago. Believe me, all of those people who we heard about a couple months ago, they're all going to, the Fed is going to approach each one of those persons, correct? So it sounds like you might even just be through. Because according to the ABC News broadcast, each one of these cases you're being charged with, 2 of them carry 20 years in prison, federal prison. Federal prison, no parole. That's 20 years. They could, if they run them concurrently, it'll just be 20 years. And another one for 5 years. But we're just getting started, buddy. All of this because you could not resist going out and buying all these flashy ass cars, these flashy ass stuff. You pulled up into a damn church. You didn't even invest in the church. Damn, there's got to be empty churches in New York City, some kind of building where you can pretend that you are actually getting income from the church. But you can't pull up it's rented space 2 hours a week and just throw up a banner and say now you're a bishop. You were so dumb you didn't even go for pastor. You went for bishop. And so you say, oh, they caught the criminals. They caught the criminals. They caught the criminals, Whitehead, because you are sitting up here in this let me say industrial neighborhood in the storefront. It's not even a storefront. A storefront, at least you own the building. No, you ain't no storefront. You're upstairs in a corner in a building. You're pulling up in Rolls Royces. You're going online, flashing hundreds of thousands of dollars in diamonds, and you're telling these people where you're at. And these people, these robbers, who would rob you if you had $300 in your pocket, right? You brought it all upon yourself, and you got so hooked on the celebrity that you couldn't shut up, right? You continue to brag, and all the time you brag, they dug. They found what kind of property. They found this building. You're supposed to be a real estate mogul. The block you say you owned. They see that you're not getting anything from that, right? Because the people, the creditors, have seized that property essentially, and any money that was raised in that property goes to the creditors. You might even get, I don't forget what it's called, injunction or some shit. I don't know all the legal terms. But basically, You weren't getting nothing from that place there. You came in and then tore the steps out. People came. If there was a fire in the building, they'd just go open the door and just walk out and fall on the ground 3 stories down. Took all the fire escapes out, child. I guess they were unseemly. I don't know what the hell the problem was, but you're supposed to repair them, right? Perhaps there was no money to repair the fire escapes because you just bought yourself a $250,000 car. Whitehead, we already know that the reason why you were in prison in the first place was for you buying vehicles on other people's names and their credit. And then you're on here asking people to give you their credit card information, right? Okay, I'm just rambling now. So you guys see, this is just what we said was going to happen. So now LAMAR Whitehead gets a little bit more fame. Good publicity or bad publicity, I guess in his mind, I'm famous, right? Dark is the night and the moon shining bright. I'm a cat from the slum. I got a mind, ain't so dumb. Hey, people. Y'all see your boy going down? Well, you can't blame nobody but him, honey. I don't understand how somebody could think they were going to just take people's money and then just sit there and all this shit and brag about it and then try to put it on God. They give Jesus a hand. They give Jesus a hand. That was his sermon. They give Jesus a hand. Then you made the additional mistake coming on here to social media with your homophobia, right? Now, some people are going to say, oh, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. No, but when you get a lot of people running their goddamn mouth, you done made all these enemies around, all these people who make videos on a daily basis. It does mean something. You can't be out just making enemies left and right and think they're not going to rejoice. Rejoice at your downfall, which we all predicted. So you need to call Larry Reed up and say, I apologize, brother. I apologize. Let's get Jesus a hand. Let's get Jesus a hand. You need to apologize for telling everybody that man is a liar. He was making up stories. No, he was not. So I don't know what this publicity stunt you had about suing him and King Jives. That ain't going nowhere, girl. They got to lie on you. Excuse me. He's not a girl. He's a guy. Let me see what y'all say. Hi, Marissa Shout too. Hello, Saints. Saints and ain'ts. It's about time they got him. That's how the Fed worked, though. So Larry called it right. He was already under indictment, or he was under investigation. Now he's under indictment. Now there's a good chance that he's already out of jail because he didn't kill nobody. So there's probably a bail. I assume you can bail out on even federal charges, right? All these lawyers he's got, supposedly lawyers, they're supposed to be suing all these people around the country. Surely one of them can go down there and bail him out or get him out of jail. But it's over. Yes, it's over. Call it a day. You brought it on yourself, Whitehead. You're what you call the N-word rich. Is what you were, right? Somebody handed you over some money and you went and lost your damn mind, right? You said you were running for something. What was it? A borough something? And you collected money. We even had the nerve to say this woman was donating her life savings to you for you to run for office, which you had no chance of winning, child. It was a way to collect money. And then since you never had any money, right? And you were already a proven criminal, right? And you start saying, oh my God, this is $300,000 we collected. We're going to collect some more. And you took that money and you just start spending it like it was your own money. You didn't even know what the rules were. It's my money. If they give it to me, it's mine, right? So you can say, all the people, the haters will say, oh, you're hating on the black man. They're just coming after the black man. That black woman was a black person as well. Those people you ripped off, they were black people as well. Right? Hey, Marissa Chateau. That's singing. Marissa, some of the girls will say, "Ooh, that singing girl. Ooh, that singing." We don't care. Hi, big seat. Big seat. Big is the big seat. Squeenie, they say hello to you. How you doing, boy? He licking on his paws. Well, it sure has come. We knew it was gonna come, and then he is constantly going back to Facebook trying to pretend to be a bishop. He don't know no other people in ministry. He ain't got no following, in ministry. I'm talking about people who respect him as being a bishop. He's not over any group of pastors. They don't mess with him. They're not going to drag their names down by being associated with him. But he still want to come on Facebook. Then he abandoned the little storefront church. There was no passion there. He said, I get more people if I go on Facebook, right? So now be prepared. He's going to come on professing his innocence. Even after they locked his ass up for 6 years, he came on talking about, I was wrongly accused. I was falsely accused. You weren't falsely accused. You got out on a technicality. That's why people pay lawyers to get them out of jail. That's why a lot of these old white folks don't go to jail, right? Because they pay somebody and they get out on a technicality. But let me tell you something, Whitehead. Even if you were a fresh new bishop and you got hit with all these charges and you went before the judge and the judge said, well, he doesn't have a record. Well, he doesn't have, it's not the same, brother. You are a convicted felon. They're going to charge you as a convicted felon. In other words, we let you out and look what happened. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Me, I have an extensive record that stopped 20 years ago, right? But if I were to go out there and do a crime now, do anything, they would arrest me and I would still be a convicted felon and I would be sentenced as such. So when they say that the maximum is 20 years on each one of these charges, perhaps you wouldn't get the maximum, but you'd be right up there, buddy. When you have no criminal arrest record, you tend to be towards the low end of the sentencing. If you are a convicted felon, you go to the high end. They don't want to let you out. So all those homes and all that shit don't mean nothing. Those cars, piles of junk. Whoever he tried to sue the man who leased the Rolls Royce from him, so that man could pick that car back up. It was all for naught. You can't take diamonds and gaudy gold necklaces in prison, man. Didn't you see this coming? And you kept on, and you kept on, right? You come out of the house after them people robbed you and humiliated you for the whole world. You come out the house wearing $300,000 necklaces. You lucky they didn't cut your goddamn head off, nigga. Are you crazy? Next time was going to be worse. What y'all think? I ain't taking the pleasure in the downfall of someone else, but this man has been throwing this shit up in our face for months. How long did the thing last? I think it all started about 4 or 5 months ago. He got a couple of months of people talking about him. He was in the paper. I'm sure this is his dream because he's always dressed up like a Christmas tree. So you think he needs a lot of attention, right? But instead of trying to clean up his legal woes, he continued to spend and brag and spend and brag and spend and brag. He takes you in through his closets to show you dozens of boxes from Fendi laying on the ground. He hasn't even got around to spending money like that. When you owe these people less money, you owe that woman $90,000. How in the fuck can you go out and spend $40,000 on shopping sprees? Well, y'all who like him, y'all better pray for him because it's comfortable for him. He already did 6 years. So he's just going back home. And he has to live off of his memories now. He ain't got no character. Simply Clinique. What's his character? He's a flim flam man. Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber band. Man, I think other people are going to come out the closet, right? Other people will come out the closet. His ex-wife probably write a book. Now this story is fresh. He just got arrested this morning. If he had any kind of attorneys at all, he's probably already out, whatever. So now he's going to try to bleed this now about how he's been unfairly victimized. But the Fed going to come up with, we've been following you for a year, man. We have all the documentation. We have a 90-some% conviction rate. Why? Because we do our research. We have a whole army of people, right? And since you wanted to be so famous, we put extra people on your case, right? How the hell you gonna walk away from this Whitehead when you done did it? No visible means of income. You went and swindled on people out of the apartment building, and then they had to I wish I knew all the language. They had to make it where the money that comes from the rentals there all went to the creditors. Nothing went to him. So that was a scam on its way to foreclosure, right? So there is no visible means of income, period. Those pitiful little 11 people in there, somebody ran their mouth and they let this fool know about one of the people who was attending his church, one of the 11 to 30 people. And he found out that the boy's mother had money. And that's all it took. So they're going to have to be looking at anybody in that church who's invested anything with him. He says he's giving real estate courses. You should have made some money in real estate before you started giving courses, for one thing. So what were you teaching those people? And how many people were you able to get out of there? Anybody else, mama, coming up short? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the children talking about him. So he loved it. He talked about it. I don't think it's what he particularly planned on, child. But y'all don't understand the criminal mind, right? Y'all think, oh, he's ashamed. He's shamed. He brought shame to the cloth. Child, when you get it on them buses going to prison, people brag about their crimes. They got over. It's how they got over, honey. The sons sit back and wonder how they got over. They brag about murders on a regular basis. Who got killed? This one got killed. I had my 9, just like the rap music. That's how they talk, child. They don't feel shit. They're a sociopaths. You would have to be a sociopath to take somebody who take their mother's money and laugh in her face and ignore her and say, I'm going to make it a donation. How arrogant. Why do you think you could get away with something like that, sir? Huh? How long did you think you were going to ride around Brooklyn in a Rolls Royce convertible? They call them trucks now. I don't think they are real trucks. Things like a Rolls Royce SUV. Then it also had Bentleys and Mercedes and all this kind. How long did you think you were going to be able to do that, sir, before somebody robbed your ass? These robbers don't care about you call yourself a bishop. What they did in my church. What they did in they didn't do shit to your church because first of all, you don't have a church. Right? You're renting the space in the back of someone else's building, a party planner. Right? Same place you have your church, that's where I had my baby shower. Correct. They didn't come in there to rob a church. They came in there to rob you. Right? You're flashy. You're bragging about all the stuff you got. You're in a building, a ramshackle building with no security. No offense, person who owns the business. I'm not saying your business is ramshackle. I'm just saying for someone who's pretending to be a mega pastor or a bishop, it's not what you expect. They say, damn, we just walk in the door and get him? Okay, let's get him. While he's still on stage, running his mouth. You better be glad they didn't take them keys and take the car as well. Right? Millionaires don't not be riding around in ghettos in Rolls Royces, honey. People don't even want to get out their Cadillac without somebody watching their car. Just in time for Christmas, he gets arrested. Well, the first thing we have to find out is, does he get out? Because he is a convicted felon. He is being arrested for the very same crimes that he was there for before. And also, I understand that extortion is a part of this thing, but he has threatened people with physically. Well, you can't deny that. We saw you threaten. You want to box Larry Reed? You want to box DL Hughley? You challenging him to want to beat him up? You talking about you beat everybody up in the prison and so forth? So you are prone to violence. Well, that in itself carries charges, child. You can't extort and make people give you their money. How do you think he could get away with it? It's just low intelligence. If he was smart, we wouldn't even know he had any money. You right, K. Williams. Like Jimmy Conway from Goodfellas said, don't buy nothing. They come in there draped in furs and things. Take it off, God damn it, take it off. Oh, that's a nice Cadillac. Take it back to where you got it from. The fuck, you gonna put us all in prison? You have money quietly when you're a criminal. You don't advertise. That's dumb. Particularly when you're under federal investigation, right? You knew the Fed was after you as you were spending all this money, trying to get rid of all of it. Maybe you felt like this was your last hurrah and you knew where you were going eventually. So you just say, I'm just going to live it up until it's over with. A lot of criminals feel that way. They do that. Because every time you get busted, you lose everything. So why not have a good time? You have pictures of you at the casino. Be quiet. Don't talk, boy. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. On, don, the don, don, the don, don. His wife should be slapped with being a scammer as well. Well, that's what they're saying, lovely one. Who was I watching this morning? Was it King Jives? I mean, he has a right to report on this thing. He was one of the ones being clipped for $20 million. I think they said that the wife is under investigation as well. I don't know if she's been arrested. We got to do more research. This just happened this morning. But she could be charged as an accessory. We still don't know why she was living in a hotel when he living down the street in a fucking mansion, right? She might have known it was getting too hot up in that house. They bound to come quickly through that door at any second. All for to wear a bunch of junk. Why you gotta have all this shit on, man? All the Fendi. These are all the Fendi shoes. These are all, look at the shoes. Got 300 pair of shoes. 300 pair of shoes. Couldn't you settle one of those dates? What are those scams? You couldn't have settled that? How much did you pay for all them shoes and them suits, man? You could have had this off of you. Is it worth 20 years in prison to keep the money? You're just not a very bright person, Whitehead. You brought this up on yourself. So now you're going to get what you crave so much, is you're going to get people to talk about you for the next few days. I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about when they start carting your shit out of that house. You know how the Fed works, right? When they start taking keys and locking your ass out and putting shit up for auction, right? They're going to film all that, Brother Whitehead. So you'll be able to be famous one more again. Maybe you can get another month out of this, professing your innocence. I don't know what's going on with the woman. Hold on a minute. I got to do my perimeter check and see if there's any breaking. See, this stuff is big on here on YouTube and Facebook, but most people don't give a damn about no damn Whitehead. They know he's crook. They say, well, he's a crook. We all know that. But not everybody, baby. Some people continue to believe. Let me see. Whitehead arrested. Let me see. We got live now from, no, 6 months ago. We need currently. No CBS News covered this. These are all old. So this thing's been going on for 6 months. All I see is that. Girl. I gotta look a little deeper. I won't bore y'all with my investigations. We'll come back to that later. Yeah. So next thing we're going to find out is he out? Can you bail out on this kind of charges from the Fed? We have to find that out, and then we'll hear his sermons when he comes on. He'll probably get the biggest numbers he's ever had when he comes on to deny once again how the police have done him wrong, how the police killed his father. They're talking about somebody. What was he? 6 months old, but how the police killed my father. They killed my father. Some people said it wasn't even his daddy, but whatever. We got to hear all that. We got to hear about how they jealous of him and how it has something to do with politics and all this kind of stuff, child. Them people are thorough. From the time that Larry Reed told us that you were under federal investigation, it's taken them this long, because he thought it would be maybe a month later, and it's turned out to be maybe 5 months later, whatever. And all this time, they've been collecting and investigating. You got a long paper trail, bruh. They know a whole lot more than what they're initially charging you with as well, right? So if you beat anybody else in Brooklyn, they coming out the woodwork, baby. Why wouldn't they? They want their money. The sad part about this story, the very sad part about it is, now that he's arrested and will probably go to prison for an extensive amount of time, what happens to that lady's money is the issue, right? The people that he ripped off, what has happened to their money? Do they get their money back if he's in prison? He can't pay him. He's in prison. They can't sue him because he's in prison, right? So I don't know how the Fed does it. Perhaps they liquidate all this stuff, but he barely got this stuff. So the house ain't worth nothing. He just don't been in less than a year. So whatever he paid for, that's what he gets out of it. That building, he was already facing foreclosure on that. They had notices on the door. Cars ain't worth nothing. That's a depreciating item, honey. More than likely, cars just leased anyway. So you get nothing out of that. So maybe they can sell some of those trinkets. They're probably mixed in with some fake ones and real ones or whatever, however he does it. But who's that going to pay off, child? So we just hope these people are able to recoup some of the money they lost, particularly that lady who we're saluting her. Thank you, lady, because the lady is the one that brought this thing to the Fed, apparently, and pursued the case. Or perhaps we wouldn't even know about it, although they would have eventually got him anyway. But at least she came out first, right? Because a lot of other black people were going to be ripped off. He was never going to stop. He spent money as fast as it came in. And when the robbery was over, an hour later, he's at the casino, flashing it up with the boys. Mm-hmm. They are going to give her her money. Will they? Will the Fed just take all his stuff and sell it and put it up for auction? Auction, you're getting pennies on the dollar anyway. But will they make these people whole, the victims? I hope so. You don't do people like that. People work their whole damn life. You just take their money, go and buy rings with it. Well, that's the criminal mind. Okay. It was just a matter of time, says Ms. Harvey. If he had not made so much noise and tried to sue everyone, it might have taken longer for him to be arrested. It might have taken him a little longer. Right. Yeah, he was just so loud they had to do something, honey. It makes a fool out of the federal government. What are you doing? You just letting this shit go on? Probably the bosses in there. I want to arrest. I want his ass. I want him nailed. I want him now. Get him now. We're working on it, sir. We're working on it. We got to make a strong case. That's why the Fed, they always win the cases. They don't even come and arrest you unless they got solid evidence. He's not a smart person. He ain't hid nothing. This dude, he's just so loud. Why so loud? As Toni Morrison would say. He had fake designer glasses. All his designer shit is they're gonna mean nothing. When he goes to prison, they're gonna give him a jumpsuit and some work boots so he can go work in the factory. That's it. So much for all your belongings, all your treasures. And when the judge hit him with reimbursement to these people, they gonna take whatever they got. The wife ain't gonna get nothing. If she got children, she gonna have to raise them without his money because they gonna take everything, baby. I don't think he has that much. I think it's a bunch of flashy shit that ain't work, has no value. Used shoes, used clothes, that don't have no value. Bunch of junk on your. What are you gonna get for used jewelry? A lot of it probably not even real. You get nothing. He better hope he can hold on to her so she can send him some at least $100 a month for Zoom Zooms and Wham Whams. Or he just ass out. He right back where he started. All he gonna have is his stories. Yeah, I'm whitehead. Yeah, I did that. I did that. That's how they brag in prison. They brag about the crimes, honey. Especially the pimps and players. Hi, not so dumb blonde. How you doing? So y'all be prepared. He'll be in the news he gonna milk this thing for a month. If he's out, if he's in prison, he ain't gonna milk it for shit. They might not let him out. It might be a flight risk. Well, if you're that guilty, you know, there's always the possibility you'd go off to Buenos Aires some damn where, child. So we'll check back in with this. Thank y'all for coming on in. Right? But anytime you think the people are picking on black man and all that stuff, child, remember those people, those victims, they're black people too. Later, people.